A prime number is a number that can only be divided by 1 and itself. So for example, 7's a prime because the only way of writing a 7 is 7 times, it's 7 times 1. This is the only way of writing it. It can only be divided by 1 and itself. This here is itself. If you look at the number 6 here, 6, well, yes, you could write 6 as a 6 times a 1. That's okay. But the thing is, we can find another example other than the 6 and the 1. So for example, a 3 and a 2. 6 is the same as 3 times 2. So we just found an example other than 1 and itself. So here you try to find another example other than 1 and itself here for the number 7. You can't do it because this is the only way. Well, 6 here, you can break the 6 up as a 3 and a 2. Well, this is something other than 1 and itself. Okay, so 6 is not a prime. 7 is a prime. Well, another way of looking at it is, well, if you look at the number 6 here, can you think of a number where 6 divided by a whole number and it gives you another whole number? Well, here we can think of 3, and then that will give you a 2 here. Well, look at the number 7 here. Can you think of a number where 7 divided by a whole number and it gives you another whole number? You see, the only way of doing it is 1 or a 7. Well, you can't use 1 or itself. Whereas if you look at the 6 here, you don't need to use 1 or itself. You can use the number 3, or you can use the number 2. But you're not allowed to use a 1 or itself. Okay. For example, let me give you another example. Let's look at 9. Is 9 a prime number? Well, 9, you can visualize it as a 3 times a 3. Well, divide both sides by 3. So this 9 over 3 equals 3 here. So what we're saying is we found a number here where you can get, well, 9 divided by 3. This is a whole number and it gives you a whole number. So therefore, this is not a prime. Okay. If you look at, let's say, 5, can you break this 5 up as a number times a number other than 1 and itself? You see, the only way of breaking up this 5 here is to use 1 and itself. So therefore, because this is the only way, then this 5 is a prime. Okay, if you look at, hang on, let's say if you look at 18, well, 18, all you need to do is find one example. 18, you can visualize it as a 9 times a 2. There, we found an example other than 18 and 1 and itself. So here, yes, you could write it like this, but then we found another example here where, well, another way of looking at it is 18. Yes, you can divide it by 2. There, then it gives you a whole number here. So therefore, this is not a prime. If you look at let's say 13 here, can you think of a number? Can you break this 13 up other than 1 and itself? You see, you can't do it. You can't break up this 13. Well, the only way of doing it is to use 1 and itself. So this is 1 here, this is itself. This is the only way of doing it. Because it's the only way, then this must be a prime. Okay. If you look at, I don't know, any other one, let's say 16 here. Well, 16 here, you can break it up as an 8 and a 2. So therefore, there. Well, yes, you could do 16 and 1, but because we found another example here other than 1 and itself, so therefore this is not a prime. Another way of looking at it is to let's look at 14. Can you think of a way of writing 14 without well, think of a number when a whole number, and then if you can think of a 14 divided by a whole number and it gives you another whole number, then it's not a prime. Well, in this case, 14 divided by 7 is 2. So this, well, 14 you can visualize as 7 times a 2. So we found an example other than itself and 1. Okay, let's look at another odd number here. Let's look at 21 here. Well, can you break this 21 up other than itself and 1? Other than this? Well, yes, you can. You can break it up as a 7 and a 3. So therefore, this is not a prime. This is not a prime because we found an example other than itself and 1. Okay, so if you look at 19, 19, can you break this up in? Can you break this up other than itself and 1? Well, if you play around and search around and experiment, try this, try that, well, you will find that you can't. The only way of visualizing this 19 is 19 times 1 or 1 times 19. So a prime number is a number that can only be divided by 1 or by 1 and itself. Okay, so this here is a prime number. In the next video, I will show you how to find out all the prime numbers between 1 and 100. Okay.